Hi, welcome back to Bookkeepers Bootcamp. I'm Zoe Whitman. I'm here with Jo Wood, and we're joined by Kristy Glenister. Hi, Kristy. How are you?
Good, thank you.
It's so nice to see you. Kristy's always at our Q&As, and we're always joining all of our calls. And I feel, like there are people who just come along to things, and I just feel like we know you really well. So it's always really nice to have a chat. Oh, well, we thought we're trying to bring you lots of chats with different bookkeepers to hear about how people are doing it, how they're building their businesses, to show you what you can do and what the options are. We're talking about having lots of options, what the options are for you. We're going to hear from Kristy about her journey and challenges you've come up against and what you've been working on over the last year or so. And if you're watching us, do let us know if you're hashtag live. I can see Leander and Tracy, a Facebook user who says, hello, ladies. I don't know who that is. Laura's here, and I can see lots of you joining. Hi, Kirsty. And so let us know if you're here. I hope you're all having a great afternoon. And thank you to our sponsor, Dext, as well, for supporting us during Bookkeepers Bootcamp week. Right, shall we dive in? Let's do that. Yes. Kristy, do you want to start by telling us about your business, how long you've been going, and what you do, how you started?
So I started my practice in August 2020. I'd spent quite some time before that studying for my ICB exams, mixed with a bit of a break due to health reasons and stuff. So it took a little bit longer than I wanted, and then finally got going. Still doing my level 4, which I'm kind of wishing that I'd done before launching, because fitting it in around everything else gets quite tricky. But yeah, other than that, I just sort of took off, and so our accountant that was doing my partner's books, he recommended me to a client who I took on, and I've got one other main client as well who I met through a mum at school. So, it's one of those little coffee morning chats that we had, and ended up with a great client. So it's been a great first year, really.
What made you, Kristy, decide to get into this business, and what have you done in the past?
Well, in the past, I worked in IT for 12 years, then got made redundant, and my partner's business was, well, a mess. Don't tell him I said that. But basically, he had an accountant. He took a carrier bag to her every quarter. She did the VAT figures, and then she'd do the year end just before his self-assessment was due. And in that time, he had no visuals on what his business was doing. So the cash flow was terrible and everything. And so I started sorting his stuff out. And I implemented Sage at the time, just to keep a record of what was going on. She never even had a copy of his bank statements and stuff. It couldn't have been proper figures. And then it was the accountant that said to me, he introduced me to Xero, first of all, and then he asked me if I'd be interested in doing some work for him and one of his other clients. So that got me thinking, really, and I thought, oh, okay, maybe he thinks I can do this for other people then. And that's where it all spiraled from. So I was straight on to look at AAT and ICB to decide what was best. And before you knew it, I'd signed up and I was studying again. So, and here we are.
I love that. And you know what? This just shows how we don't always choose to do something. Like, I started a career as, I never thought I'd be where I am right now. I started off being a trainee accountant, and I'd done every job going before that, I think. And Jo, you had, well, I suppose you had more of a plan to be here, didn't you? But we have people who've joined us, like we've spoken to Dave before, he runs a driving school. Yeah. Louise, who's retrained as a nurse. And it just shows that people come here from all different paths and kind of find our place and see, actually, this is a really good thing we can do.
It's really, I really love it, much more than I did in doing the IT and stuff like that, working for other people. It takes a bit of getting used to working on your own at home and stuff, but and it's not for everybody, is it, being at home all day and everything, although a lot of people are having to get used to it now. But I love it. So yeah.
Is it you working on your own, Kristy, or do you have support in the business?
I have support. So I have one lady who works for me, and she's great, and so we're splitting the work between us. So she's doing all the sort of day-to-day stuff. She only works for me 3 days a week, so we're just sorting out all the processes at the moment so that she's got everything she needs to do on those days, and we don't get overloaded throughout the month. And that way I feel more comfortable taking on the next lot of clients, because we know exactly what's going to be done on each days. So that's what we're going through at the moment, and just sorting it all out in centre to make sure it flows correctly. So that's another job for next week.
I know, I mean, you're amazing. You're always showing up. You're always, working on your business as well as in it. You're a great support to others. You're like a font of knowledge. You've got real good common sense as well. Like sometimes you answer questions, I think, oh my goodness, yeah, that makes so much sense. When you started it, what did you envisage for this business? Did you have any plans, or did you just think, I'll get qualified and have a couple of clients? And where do you want to go now?
Well, yeah, I think to start with, I thought, yeah, just get the practice license and get up and running. That was the key thing, although I'm all about the planning. So I'd already, before I even got the practice license, I'd already planned most of my software to start with, not Centre or anything, but like Go Proposal and Xero and everything. So I already knew what way I was headed. And yeah, I think I've always seen myself as going down the road so that I'm not doing all the work. As much as I love doing the work, I don't want to do it all the time. So, and I don't think you can really, when you're running a business. If you're going to have, more clients, there isn't time to work on your business and in it at the same time. So you've got to draw a line somewhere. Otherwise you will be working all the hours. So
I love that insight. Like we were before we came live, we were talking about like, what have been your challenges so far, and what have you not quite figured out yet, and what is going well. And you were saying, well, one of the things I haven't quite got yet is like actually pinpointed who the ideal client might be. But what you clearly have been focusing on is, I need to set this business up so I don't do everything. And and scaling, knowing that you don't have all the hours in the day. We've spoken about this a few times today, in fact, as well. We were talking to Leah about how she's structuring her business. Having that foresight now, so that you don't try and do all the things, grow it, and have all the clients, and then still have to do all the social media, all the bookkeeping, all the sales calls, all the invoicing, all your own, knowing that you can set it up so that actually this can become a profitable business that can grow. Kind of like when James Ashford was saying to us yesterday, don't name your business after yourself. Go and set it up so it can run without you. Things like that. I didn't say that to dig at Joe. I just comedy value.
It's 100%. And I feel like I need to explain myself on that. People must be thinking, does Jo realise that her business is named after herself? And everyone's saying don't do that. And I absolutely knew that I shouldn't name my business after myself and that I was going to grow. But I've been made redundant and I need to make the money straight away. And my name, people knew that I was in the business, so I did it. Problem is, when you do something quickly, which I still don't regret it. I don't regret it because I have a roof over my head and I've got a successful business. But now I've got to go and change everything. I've got to rebrand, and I've got to rebrand now. And not that I don't care about what my clients think or anything like that. It's just a pain in the bottom, isn't it, to do it? So, so yes, I am aware that my business is named after myself, and that was a bad idea.
That's the same sort of reason for me. Straight away, I went limited. I didn't even bother doing the sole trader thing, and I VAT registered straight away as well, because I just thought it just saves all the hassle down the line. And it's no skin off my nose to do a VAT return every quarter for myself, so why not? you know, it's so it's I've just set it up as I mean to go on, basically.
Oh, I love that. And like and this is one of the things we talk about, like growing a business, growing up. We've spoken about having like a grown-up business before, seeing yourself as a business owner, not seeing yourself as like a freelancer trading time for money, but actually building something. And I mean, it's even things like the price of our program. If you're VAT registered, you don't pay the VAT. So like even having that like foresight to be like, well, actually, what am I working towards? And would that future mean I would need to register for VAT? Would that future mean actually a limited company would be better legal structure for my business? And going out and doing that now while you've got the time to get that sorted out makes so much sense. How did you feel like the idea of bringing somebody into your business is a bold move? Did you feel were you afraid, or was it like a non-negotiable for you?
I'd already pre-planned it. So she was working for my partner's business and she was doing her ICB level 2 at the same time. So as soon as we'd already planned that once I was up and running that she would come over and work with me. We didn't know exactly when that would be, and then we went into a pandemic, and so we didn't do it until furlough was going to be over, because we didn't know if I'd need to if we needed to furlough her again, because she's got 3 children. The threat's still there that, you know, with COVID as it is at the moment, but so it was always the plan to take her on, because it's very hard, isn't it, to it might not have been the right time, but if you find somebody that you trust to have in your business, then I think you just have to go for it when they're available. So that's what I did.
Absolutely. I mean, Laura's just said as well, you know, getting a good review process in place. You need to review everything to start with, but slowly move to light touch points and review and learn that you can trust them with your baby. So yeah, absolutely, it is like that when you start trusting people with you. So, and what I do is I just start off with the very lowest level of tasks and make sure, okay, I can trust you with that. Then I'll let you have the next bit and the next bit. Leander's said as well, we have employee subbies doing processing. Me and 2 staff check and approve, and then they reconcile the bank. We do month-end checks. It's tough at first, as you do worry about everything, but building and planning a structured process helps. Absolutely. Definitely. You know, it's like anything. Sometimes you think, oh, it's just, you know, when we ask someone to take something off of the stairs and put it in their bedroom, oh, it's easier just to do it yourself. But if you keep doing everything yourself, you're always going to do everything yourself. And then, like James Ashford said, we run out of options. The options are taken away from us because there's only so many hours in the day.
You can't take on any more clients.
No.
So you've either got to stay and plateau where you are, or you've got to move some of the work.
And that's amazing what you've managed to do with, you know, still being very much like at the beginning of your business. You're still studying, but you have got clients and you've got and processes in place. You are ready to leverage. That's what you've done. When you've gone, right, I know who my ideal client is, you're ready to go at it and get the work and take it on. You've sorted out those processes. Like yesterday when I was saying about, you know, if you're not confident in your onboarding, sometimes that stops you from selling in the first place. You know your app stack, you know which apps you're using, you know how you're going to take a client from A to B. So you've done so much of that, those foundations. We always talk about, you know, sometimes we see these lovely tall buildings, but do you know what? The builders work underground for much, much longer than they work above ground. And that's what you've been doing, which is amazing.
Yeah, I hope so. So I'm fingers crossed this year should hopefully see some quite good things. So I've just got to keep the old confidence up and not listen to the little devil on my shoulder, and just keep ploughing ahead, really, because, you know, everybody has those doubts, don't they? I think sometimes as to, can I really do this? Do I really know what I'm doing? And then I'll have a meeting with the client, and all of a sudden you think, oh, I do know what I'm doing. It's okay. So yeah, it's really strange.
What about
I do love it.
How did you choose your app stack? Because like IT is your background, so I'm guessing you love this stuff. You love the automation and the apps. Great. Because I think when I found this quite overwhelming. Like my experience of like those sort of stages of deciding on software, I also had a tiny baby at the same time, and I was like trying to, like, I remember Dext calling me and me trying to find time, like I really must spend time with this person, like learning this part of it, but I also had to feed a baby who was like weaning, and then I was trying to like look after my team, and I was like, can someone else just do this call? And finding the time for that can be quite hard, particularly when you've got so many options and you're like, what is right for me?
Yeah, it can be really time consuming, but like I said, I'd already found, so I was already using Xero, been using Xero since 2014 for my other half's stuff, so I was really comfortable with that already. And then I'd found Go Proposal. I have no idea now where I found that, but I mean, just watching that, I learned so much, you know, watching all of James's videos and everything that were available. I'd already got a picture of how I was going to start doing things before I got there. So I hit the ground running at that point. And what was I using? So, and I'd also got Office 365. However, I didn't like using OneDrive at the time for my documents because they weren't easy to share, and so I started looking about for other things for that, and I looked at SmartVault, which I know that Joe had used as well, but I'd looked at it before you, and I liked it, and I started setting it up, but it didn't really function that well on a Mac. And in the end I just thought, oh, I can just do the folder structure myself. So that's what I've done. I've set up folder templates and I just copy them in at year end and the next year's ready to go. So from that point of view, I've set up, all my documents are now stored in SharePoint, in a nice folder structure per client and year and all the stuff that it does in SmartVault, and it's working great. So that side of it's fine. And now I'm bringing Centre in to use the portal. So when I get to year end, I give the accountants access to the portal, and that's where they grab all the bank statements and any documents and worksheets and stuff that they need, so that I don't have to keep emailing stuff around. So they're my favorites, really. And then I'm always dipping in and out of any other software because I do find it really hard just to stick with those, because I like a new bit of software.
You do
resist.
You do like a bit of software. You know about every bit of software. Just got to share this with you. Nicola Fallon's just said, Kristy is my southern doppelganger. I absolutely love. And so, I mean, I feel like you're such a big part of our community. I feel you're always so helpful, and you're always offering advice. And someone else, I just saw someone else here say, Carolyn said, you know, you come across of having tons of confidence. Always being so knowledgeable, and you are amazing. Oh, sorry, my dog's sneezing.
It's always easy to give advice to other people, though. I can do that till the cows come home, but it's when it comes down to my own stuff that I struggle to listen to my own advice and think, oh, you're just talking rubbish, woman. Don't be silly, you know. But yeah, it's good to know then. Maybe I will listen to myself more.
You should do. You really should do, because you're always very you come very supportive, very compassionate, and like I say, just really common sense approach. And I mean, I'm this, you know, I know that I come to you if I've got a question about Go Proposal and things like that, because you really utilize software really well. You've like I say, you've got those foundations really sorted. Sometimes I'm a bit quick off the mark, and I'm like, and with centre and stuff, and that's the beauty as well in our group. We get together if someone's using a similar app stack or whatever, like, let's get together and sort this thing out and try and work out how this works and stuff. So where was you at in your journey when you decided to join the 6-month success program?
Well, obviously I decided I wasn't joining it. First of all, I was just going to take everything from the boot camp and run.
That's okay. That's all right. If you need to do that, that's okay.
That was my plan. I am, however, by the end of the boot camp, I was like, no, I need to sign up. So by the end, I'd signed up, and you were stuck with me. So.
Oh, we're happy we're stuck with you. And like, the reason we put this on for free is because we know there are some people who like aren't ready. They're like, it isn't the right time for them yet. But we want to show you what it is like working with us and being part of this group, and what people get out of it and the difference it can make. So that, and hopefully that was the reason you decided to sign up.
When I first signed up to the Facebook group, I was like, oh, what's it going to be like? Is it going to be another one where you don't want to post anything in case you get sort of told off or laughed at or anything? And I can honestly say we've never had anything like that in our group, and nobody's ever been told off or chucked out, or the things that you see in other groups that happen all the time. And so I sort of sat quietly in the background, and then boot camp came along in the September. And it just went from there. And then I remember I was really nervous for the first office hour and everything, but I loved them. We used to, they would sit and chat and find that everyone was kind of in the same position, which was great, so it was invaluable, especially, as I said, working from home. It's nice to have that social aspect as well, of people to run things by, because otherwise where do you get that from? So there's only so much talking to the dog you can do.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. I mean, and this is why we created it, because selfishly we wanted somewhere to hang out with people that had the same interests and questions, and it really is like just a really nice a lovely community. And we talk, I mean, how I know somewhat member in the group, when she got her certificate for, completing her level 4.
She put a picture in the group. She went, I haven't even told my husband yet. I'm telling you girls and you guys before I've even told my family. And that's because we're all asking, how's it getting on? We all know when each other's exams are. We all know when something's going up. And it's
You're muted.
Oh, I didn't press anything. Yeah, it's just so lovely to know we've got that those people that we can go to, ask the questions, and never feel silly. And I know at the beginning everyone feels a bit nervous to, like, when you first of all join, you think, okay, I'm just going to sit here quietly and see what these guys are like. But it's exactly like what goes on in the chat here. Everyone just says exactly what they're thinking. And Nicola said, bookkeeping besties, absolutely. And it's really lovely. And Kristy, you really do help to make it such a welcoming place to be. You're so lovely. You're so lovely.
I think as well, like the group, I think perhaps what people don't realise is the power of being part of a group. And I think we've been talking about this all week, and you might be listening to this thinking, well, but what's actually in the course? Like, I don't need a group. I'm all right on my own. And it's when you become part of it that you see, oh, actually, there were a lot of people here who know a lot of stuff, and that just multiplies the impact of you going out and learning it all for yourself.
Because I still haven't made it all the way through the course, because I keep going back again and doing bits again, because as I learn more about myself and my business, what I did before changes, and so I'm like, right, I need to go back and do that again. So I've still not got to the end because I keep going and refreshing it, but that's what it's all about, isn't it? And the lifetime access is great because everything does move on and it changes, and so you just have to keep refreshing things. So that's where it's great.
Do you know what? And you're so right, Kristy. Even though, We wrote the course. I used the startup program when I went from sole trader to limited.
But you don't do it all the time.
And I went through that and wrote everything out at the time, step by step, because I was going through the process setting up in the first place. So when I moved over, and we've said that a lot to people in the group, like when they have gone from sole trader to limited, use the startup program again. It's exactly the same thing, which is it is really funny. And there are times when I go back and look at things all the time because I've forgotten what me and Zoe have said, so I need to refresh on it, and it's invaluable. What the other great thing about the community is saying, I need to learn this right now because my clients, or I want to do this bit. What is there anything in the program that will help me with this? And there's so many people go to that old boot camp, that session.
Laura's great at telling you where everything is.
She's got her own
where everything is in the course. And I think my biggest scare was when I suddenly realized that my access was going to be, my 6 months was coming to the end, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to have the office hour anymore or anything. And I was on a call with Leander, and we both were in the same position, and we were like, but what do we do now? And then we found out about the accountability package, and we were like, oh, thank goodness, I can stay.
Oh, bless you. I remember the email you sent me. What do we do? How do we stay in it? What can we do? Which is really funny. Scarlett has just asked a question. Is the startup program useful for the US? I know the 6 month is, but is the startup? So I mean, the startup program, obviously we do take you through things. I'm not sure about the US and the professional standards and the bodies that you have. But if you have a professional body, we tell you to go, because there's lots of them here. We tend to say, go and check this bit with your professional body. So we don't even tell you what it is. But a lot of the other things, I'm sure, are all relevant.
Our programs are about business development, so we're not teaching you technical bookkeeping standards. And I think we were having a chat, weren't we, Scarlett, in Messenger? But there are things about AML in the UK, which is obviously the way we do things here. And we'd love to be able to make our courses like even more international by adding extra modules in where we're addressing particular things. And I can see this is probably the first boot camp where we've had loads of people saying, I'm in the States, I'm in Australia, I'm in India, what do I need to know? And so we can see that there's an opportunity for us to help you by pivoting this slightly so we can add in the specific things there to support you. But no, we're going to take you through what you need to know to get your business started. Have a look at the sections within the startup program. I'll see if I can pop a link while these guys are chatting so you can go and have a look at the modules underneath, the videos underneath, and then you can decide for yourself whether it's worth a go.
Yeah, absolutely. So Kristy, let's talk about your ideal client. Who have you got at the moment as clients? What kind of industries are they in?
I've got a complete mix. So I've got my other half who's a landscaper. So it's kind of more construction type side. So I know that I don't want those as a client. So that's good. I've got one who's in mobile communications and another one who runs apprenticeships in digital media, so running apprenticeships for the BBC and global radio and all different sort of providers. So I've really struggled with the ideal client and still haven't nailed it completely. But what I have decided, I think, is that I just want limited companies. I don't want to go down the sole trader route. So I'm looking for clients to be at least a minimum of £500 a month, I think, rather than like little, because I just get fed up with some of the sole trader like construction and stuff. They're just not interested in building a business, and that's really what I'm looking at. I want to help people build businesses like you guys, but obviously on the financial side. And I think that's where I can make the most difference. So that's what I'm going to do.
So you like limited companies. What about And this is one of the things about ideal client. Learning who you don't want to work with is one way of moving towards your perfect ideal client. So absolutely, figuring that out is a really good thing. Do you think so you've kind of, the kind of roughly you want to go limited, so that's one area. Is it a case, I mean, you said the mum that's at the school, do you prefer working with females, or you don't know yet because you've only worked with one?
I thought that the answer would probably be yes, but actually I like both of them in different ways. Although my other client is a man, but he's actually progressing really well now, and we're having weekly meetings at the moment to keep things on track, because he did like to bury his head in the sand and was a bit of a nightmare and stuff, but actually he's really turning it round at the moment, and that's been really rewarding. So I wouldn't be as quick to write them off actually as I thought I would be, which is why I'm thinking more, it really depends on the individual and what they like to work with. When you're sort of going through the discovery calls and things, because sometimes they surprise you. So, and I think that's what's making it harder to make that decision.
Remember we said about niching by personality. It seems like you like the people you work with, and you want to help them. It's funny, the other day one of my clients wrote to me and she said, that we need to advertise ourselves as ADHD friendly, and I was like, what? And she was like, and actually now I've asked the question a bit more, or we've I don't know, it's something in our wording or something, but we now have 3 ADHD clients.
Okay.
And they're telling, because obviously again they're hanging out in groups that are talking about that. So, and also I found out a stat the other day that someone with ADHD is 70% more likely to be an entrepreneur because of the lack of that they can't
work for somebody else.
So actually, that's another little area, and like an added little niche that I open myself up to, because I love it when somebody really struggles to get organized. I love finding a way that works for them, and not necessarily we have lots of systems and processes, and we try and get people to fit into that. But I love it if they can't, and then I find a way that they can, and everything stops for them. That really gives me joy. So that's why she was saying, oh my goodness, you've been so helpful, and blah blah blah. And it might be voice notes, it might be a WhatsApp group, it might be a video. There are different ways that someone will look at information and think, I can listen to it like this. I can't listen to it other way. So personalities and can lead to different types of niching as well.
Definitely. No, it's taken me a long time to sort of come to that realization, though. I've gone round and round the houses with the whole niching thing, and it is one of the things that has driven me mad.
Absolutely. And so where are you next going to get your next client from? What's your next avenue?
Don't know. No, that's a lie, sort of. So I'm back on the social media train again, because as Zoe knows, I'm rubbish at actually posting in the end. I do plan, but it takes me a long time to actually do the posts. So I'm scheduling time out in my diary every week to create my posts. And also, if I don't get it done in that session, I will then roll it over to the accountability session on a Friday. So I think that's the only way I can do it. So as of January, I've been using my paper planner again, because I find that by actually writing it out, it makes more sense, and I can think more about what I need to do in that day. So that's what I've been doing. And it's all sectioned out, so I can see when I'm going to do my client work, when I'm going to do my social media and stuff like that. Because otherwise the day runs away with you, and you find that you don't feel like you've accomplished anything, or I don't anyway.
No, I know what you mean. When you've got that like list of the bits that have hung around and you're like, damn it, how did the time go and I haven't got that done?
Yeah.
Do you measure, like one thing I'm thinking is, I don't know how much time you're spending on social media, but is that like, are you measuring the return on the investment of your time? Like, is that paying off? Are you having the conversation? Just thinking back to the chat we had with Rachel Howarth this morning, are you taking people from those posts into conversations? And if not, does something actually, is it worth it, or is it that something else needs to happen?
Not yet, because so I've just signed up to Janet Murray's content 90-day thing. So literally I've just started planning and posting, so that's my next step then, will to see what response I get and how to engage with the people that are responding. But until I start getting more posts out there, I don't think I can gauge what's what really. So that's to come.
Yeah, but no, and that's okay. It's noticing,
I'll
like,
get quicker at it as well.
Yeah.
The more I do it, the quicker I'll get. But I just sit there going, oh, is that okay? Is that not okay? You know, and I spend too long putting these things together.
Yeah, I think we all can do that. And you know what, we can all take too long. However, like, why, I don't know why we're putting this pressure on ourselves, like, to do anything that feels important. Like, we'll do it when we're ready and when the urgency is there. And if it is urgent, then we need to prioritize it. I think you know what you need to do, and that's why you're doing the Janet Murray training, to take that forward for you.
It's more the accountability, I think, of making me sit down in that time frame and actually do it, because otherwise it just gets pushed back and then it never gets done. So it's that's where I'm using my planner, and I'm actually marking time out so that it doesn't get booked up. And I, you know, and again, I think it was it Leah that said that she doesn't start her day till 10. So the first hour of my day is always booked out for planning for my business anyway, and that way I can do anything I need to, or I can extend the dog walk or whatever I feel I need to that day, without the pressure of any meetings being early on. So apart from a Friday when I have to be home for the accountability call at 9.
Although sometimes you join while you're on the dog walk, it's okay. You could make it work for you. Everyone's got Zoom on their phone.
Exactly. Yes, I did do one accountability in the woods.
That's okay. It's about being there, isn't it? No, I love that. There are so many breakthroughs coming. Kath has just said she's got a breakthrough. She's got a great idea for a social media post about helping my cleaner with his Lego instructions. I think this is loving the breakthroughs today.
Lego instructions.
Can't wait to see that. Oh, well, look, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your journey. I'm just wondering, if you were talking to somebody who is kind of at a stuck point in their business, like they've got to a point and they're like, I don't know what to do next. Like, I've been throwing everything at this business. I want to make it happen. I want to make it work for me, but there's just this stuff that I'm just coming up against it. I don't know what to do next, or I don't know how to get myself started. What would you say to them about their next actions? This isn't for you to plug the program. Like, what would you do to help them to know what to do next?
Well, I would say get in the group and ask people, because that's the best way of getting the motivation and the push that you need to take those next steps. Because usually you know what you need to do, but it's just having somebody say, this is what you need to do. So that would be my advice, is to get into the group and take the advice from everybody there, because there'll always be someone. So that's my go-to.
They're a good bunch, and you can literally ask them and you can go and get a bit of a gentle kick up the bottom if you need it. Like, you can go in there and have a little pity party, and we'll let you have a pity party for a minute, and then we'll G you on and say, right, what are you going to do?
Exactly.
Which is good. I love that. So Leander's taken us all swimming on Friday. Did you see Leander's post today? So after she definitely had a breakthrough, because she's she's realizing that the construction people that she wants to work with don't care how she looks on social media. So she did a dive into a pool today. I saw her in the sea, very cold. Gave me a headache thinking about putting my head underwater in the sea today, but she's absolutely embracing it. So absolutely embrace being you, and continue, Kristy, and you're so lovely. Everyone needs to have a bit of Kristy in their life. So absolutely, and you're such a, you know, such a sweet lady, and I'm so glad we got to meet you and things. So thank you so much for taking your time out. And I know
no worries,
it's nerve-wracking, like getting yourself out here, and even this, you are pushing yourself forward and working.
Yeah, my initial thought was, oh my God, I'm not doing that. And then I thought, no, come on, you've got to do something different, otherwise you'll never move on. So yeah, it's been great. Loved it. Can't wait to see you in February.
Yeah.
Oh yes, yes. Can't wait. Yeah, we're having VIP masterminds. Kristy's coming. We've actually filled up our date in Reading now, but we're going to have to put an extra date on in Reading.
So to be.
It is the place to be. Oh, amazing. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to have a chat with us. Everyone, thank you for being here this afternoon. Most of us probably have the school run, so I'm off to do that as well. We're back at 8 o'clock and we're speaking to Danny Wallace tonight. How excited are you about that, Jo?
I'm like such a fangirl. I absolutely love Danny. I've been following her for many years. And we got to meet her in person the at Atomicon, didn't we? And I was like, hi, Danny. And I'm thinking she doesn't have a clue who I am. But I did get to meet her. And then we said to her while we were there, would you come and be part of Bookkeepers Bootcamp? And she happily accepted. And she's going to be here. She is going to bring the party tonight. I can promise you. Like, come along with your highest energy and be ready to have a giggle. With a proper, her story is amazing, and she's gonna really boost us up to see us out into our final day of boot camp tomorrow.
Yes, can't wait. Well, we'll see. We'll be back at 8 o'clock. Thank you so much, Kristy. Thanks everyone for being here. We will see you later on. Have a good afternoon. Bye.